Greetings and welcome. Happy Sunday wherever you are on the globe. This wonderful, what is it, April, fucking, oh shit, what is it, the 17th, I believe, maybe, 2022, when this is originally airing here on YouTube. Bear with me. Thank you. I appreciate y'all. I send y'all love and light and positive vibes all the time. I appreciate that about you. The group of you alls are a part of the reason why I do what I do, a part of the why behind why I do. To the newbies, I hope that, you can receive something here that can help you in a high vibrational way, as well as some good old entertainment sometimes, because you just can never tell. If you are coming here in love and light, now bear with me 1 second. I am actually manning the port here so that I can be recording, things from lunatics that don't have a life anymore. Their lives have been destroyed. And so then they attempt to bounty hunt the divines. So they spend their last waking dimes trying to locate the divines. They get in their groups of individuals to do it. They pay people to do it. Put it. Okay. So people don't like to believe it. But my family is involved in putting hits. Okay. My family is involved in putting hits out for me and my son's life. That's why I warned you guys earlier. If you are connected to my son's family and they're calling you and talking to you and trying to act some kind of way, you're stupid if you believe in it. Because they're trying to fucking kill your nephew. They're trying to fucking set it up so he be killed or sick because they're jealous. Now, you can either sit there and try to play with that in your head back and forth and then end up getting caught up in their shit, their death, and their karma. Okay? Serves you well to stay away. Now, because the karmics end up losing everything, okay, once the divine counterparts shut them off, then they go into the amplified rage, okay? Once the other counterpart shut them off, now it's about retaliation. But the counterpart was supposed to do that anyway because they were going to die, get sick, get caught up in all sorts of shit the longer they stay connected to these karmics. The longer they stay in their homes, the longer they listen to them. And this is not just the karmic lovers. This is including karmic friends that was influencing these connections, that was cheerleading for the counterparts to be with these karmic connections. I also want to add, they'll play like they're trying to help the counterpart to be able to reconnect, when in fact they're still simply trying to sabotage it and confuse. This is why divines have to learn to go within, because usually most of what we have accumulated are karmic friends. And as long as we're relying on these types of folks, we will always be misguided. Okay, whether it is I'm going to introduce you to somebody, let me hook you up with somebody, it's designed to keep you distracted, to keep you full of lust, demons, to keep you off your ascension journey. Okay, once the divines figure this out, then they separate, and then these karmic energies go into full manifestation of bounty hunting for the heads of the divines. Okay, my family, namely my sister, is involved in getting people involved with trying to hunt down me and my son. You can believe it or not, but you've been warned, because if you get caught up with it, you're going to fry with her. So now, it's because they lose the benefit of energy harvesting when divines cut them off. They lose the benefit of energy harvesting when divines cut them off. What do I mean by that? When divines separate, no longer hold on to their energy, no longer, play with all of that, just literally separate. The ones that practice the black magic and spell work, they try to infiltrate, okay, and to confuse you, to make you look at them differently than what they are, to make you feel sorry for them, to make you feel like they're reforming, to make you shut off from your divine guidances and all sorts of things. So it's imperative that divines know and understand that. Just because stuff is in the dreams, it doesn't mean that it's divine. Sometimes they're prophetic, sometimes it's warnings, sometimes it's for you to interpret what is it really about versus what is it trying to appear to be. Okay, what is it really about? It's true versus what is it, we have to tap into that. Okay, and hence this is how she's been able to get a lot. She's been doing this on everybody. People just are oblivious to it or refuse to believe it, and that's their lot. And so when motherfuckers start dying and having accidents and sick and shit all around them and losing money and crazy, maybe these people will eventually catch up to that. Okay, and try not to, brush it off to happenstance. You can believe that if you want to. Now, what is it about these karmics? Usually we have had past lives with these karmics, okay? For those of you who understand that and is open to that and so forth, okay? So they may not have been your family in the past lives. It's just their soul, okay? They may not have been your family, okay? So in my case, hold on. In my case, I believe that what happened was that my family, I'm not saying every single last one of them, but for sure, most certainly, I believe my mother and my older sister for certain. Okay? Again, not relatives in the past life. It's the soul we're speaking about here. Okay? In the past life, they were insane asylum patients. Okay? And in a past life, I was either a psychiatrist, a doctor. I was practicing whatever the things were at the time. And they were cruel at that time. Okay? You guys got to understand the way this goes. In the olden days, right? We see how the history is written out. So before we were tapped into certain things, practitioners, doctors, psychiatrists, scientists at that time was using means to try to assist those in the insane asylums. But it wasn't as kind, and considerate and tender and compassionate as it should have been or could have been, because it was about, at that time, it was about trying to just get the control because these people were not well and trying to, figure out a way to, okay, how can we get them to not, to be what all this shit, right? So it wasn't the most sensitive way or the most compassionate or gentle way possible, okay, unfortunately. So this is what ends up happening. This is why oh my God, this is why this happens. So what could, in the past life, either, I don't have all the full details, like they could have died in the insane asylum. I was one of the people that was on the staff to try to help or whatever. But you have to look at it from the energetic perspective, right? So there was torment, torture, okay, to them. Just think about that. So here's the way the world of karma go. Now we're going to bring it forward and see why is this playing out. So then the destiny becomes like this with each return. So they follow me and they'll follow you into another lifetime. And depending on the whole get down, it can be in the form of family this time. Okay. So this stuff is stored. People don't understand because, you know, we got people who don't want to believe it, which is fine. But all of the soul's experiences is stored in the Akash. It's stored in our DNA. It's stored in your physicality. It is stored in your being. Okay. That's why they talk about the subconscious. Remember, I said 90% we're driven by the subconscious. You guys will catch it eventually. So the point was, okay, I apologize, you guys. I know there was a pause there. Okay. But so the template is, it's in them. Okay. And they don't know why. How much of people ever saying and thinking, I don't know why I hate this person. I hate them. There's no apparent reason for you to. You just sit there and go, you know, you're driven by it. You subtly know it. You know, they usually subtly know it, but they kind of like try to deny it and get away from it or whatever. But, or why are they so aggravated and why they want to, you know, it's because the subconscious memory, the programming, the traumas, everything that's in there that's connected to a past life pain that they're associating to some type of event or events. Okay. Now, the point of why this is all set up in the contracts and the ethers and with all of that is because the potential for clearing each time. We all get an opportunity. See, here's where people are going to start finally figuring out why with one, it gets better and goes this way, and the other, it's, you know, we're going to get to there. Because every last one of us is given the opportunity to wrap up what I call South Node cycles. Okay, whatever happened, we'll all be given that to be able to clear it out and balance it out in the healthier way, should we opt to adhere and take it. Now, in the case with my family, I had to say all that because it's a reason why people are driven and they go psychotic. And since in my case, my karmic family were in an insane asylum. Okay. So it's giving you the energy of the soul hadn't healed or transformed or integrated to the degree of mental balance. So they come in still that way. Okay, they come in again that way. So this is why we hear the comments, lunatics, and we see like, why, if with some of the karmics, so it's not all of them, but why with some of the karmics, they really become psychopaths, sociopaths, killers, murderers, paying, you know, covert narcs, paying for people to do harm and kill and set up and steal. And, you know, how is that possible? Because that person was possibly insane in another life. Okay. And, they died, you know, having not been able to deal with that. And so they're given an opportunity with the same scenario, but in a different way. So I'm going to bridge it to me, okay, since I'm talking about my situation. With my mother and my sister specifically, okay? So this is why they have such jealousy, rage, envy, coldness, everything that I've told you guys, and there's so much more I will be telling you guys as time proceeds, okay, about that whole dynamic with them. This is why. But see, this time, it was different to where they could hide it more. They could hide it behind religion. They could hide it behind, you know, using the 3D things, lust, sex, things that get people, you know, dizzy and unable to see clearly and, you know, all those things. Okay. This time they had a little bit more leeway to be able to confuse people and hide that they were insane, that they were not mentally well. In fact, to be able to project it on the ones that they were targeting to kill because of the connection of the past life. Okay? So, that's what happened to me. and is happening. So they actually do have a bounty hunt. Just letting y'all know. And I'm helping the FBI out with that if y'all listening, because I've already been alerted about that. So they are attempting to stalk, bounty hunt, and they act like in front of the other people who are disillusioned, ain't nobody doing none of that. That's just in their head. Ain't nobody doing none of that. She tripping, he tripping. They crazy. See, that's what they get for going into that arena. And they've been doing that arena long before the person that they talking about, because they're fucking dark witches and warlocks and weirdos. Okay? So that's how they get away with that too, because again, they've managed to cloak themselves in some kind of a religion. And so they have all these crosses over their neck, and they're making greens and cornbread and macaroni and saying, oh, baby, and sugar pie, and, you know, at the charity functions. And, you know, so they were able this time to really disguise it and hide it. And because of the abusive nature towards myself, my son, and you know, certain others, and the effects that that takes upon you, then they were able to project their insanity and mental illness and mental problems onto me. And the reality was, I was simply traumatized, okay, from their bull. Now, the ether's source, the spirit guides, the ancestors, all that were involved, was trying to grant opportunity for healing, for me to be able to contribute in the way I was originally supposed to contribute. Okay? So when my sister was trying to trap me, because remember, she's already got that energy, and Vegas only made it amplified and worse for her. This is something she don't know. Vegas made it worse for her. Okay? And everything that's, you know, that fast nightlife and all of the toxic side of Vegas is what fucked her up more. And when she set it up, you know, it was premeditated. It was a strategy under false pretense to get me to get into Nevada. Even though that's what she was doing, on her side, it was the trap. It was so that I would be trapped and end up stuck, and so she can kill me, so she can use my energy, my son's energy, get creative ideas, you know, try to pretend like to be me, to maybe mimic me, copy me, blah, 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 blah. Because that's essentially what happened, by the way. So, hold on. So, even though that was her intention, the higher realms was, okay, they knew that I would awaken. She did too, because she's been into this stuff longer than people believe or know. So she had already been getting readings and all this stuff done, because like I said, Vegas is the mecca of devilish shit. It's the Sodom and Gomorrah of all Sodom and Gomorrahs of, you know, this lifetime. Okay, amongst other cities that are kind of prevalent with, you know, this over fixation of the 3D. Okay, so you know, it was for my awakening and healing, so I could ascend and do and be a part of the role to assist them to, if they were to choose it, to also equally heal and to alchemize the past life stuff that had happened. Okay, that was my role. That was the purpose of being accessible, or, you know, getting near them and all that. But where it goes rogue, once I knew my karmic lesson, see, this is what a lot of them don't understand. Once I knew what my karmic lesson was and what all of that was all about, and my attempts to help them, my attempts to provide that information, my attempts to give them that, was me alchemizing the past life stuff. Okay, so anything beyond that became out of bounds. Okay, you hear readers talk about karmic debt, so anything beyond that became out of bounds. So essentially, what ends up happening is, okay, karmic debt is paid. All right, the soul of Brandy attempted to assist with the healing of the souls of those that were in the past life with her in insane asylums, okay, that she partook in, with whether it was electric shock therapies or whatever it was that was more torturous back then, which is like so not cool, right? So Brandy, her soul, the family members, those she had a past life with in that insane asylum, by attempting to provide, okay, the help and assistance as is what she was supposed to be doing. However, they rejected it. However, they tried to sabotage her. However, they laughed at her. They mocked at her. However, they tried to steal from her. However, they were not open and receptive. And because of that, karmic debt is paid. It's clear for the soul of Brandy concerning them. But because they're still resisting their healing, they're still going to act in, because it's still in their energy. It's still in their subconscious. They have chosen and refused to do their healing. And it is not Brandy's responsibility. Brandy's responsibility was to provide, make it open to share. It's up to them what they were supposed to do with it. But instead, they wanted to hurt her. They wanted to sabotage her like lunatics, just like the lunatics in the insane asylum. Because they are not well. They are in an insane asylum. So you don't stay around that. You don't stay around. You don't make friends. You don't go skip. You don't entertain, even if it happened to have been able to hide it more in this life. You accept that you have given and done the part in terms of clearing the past life, then you remove yourself from their energy, because any further connection, any further involvement is only going to cause you to lose out on your destiny, to absorb their karma, to hurt yourself. You're not going to be saving them. You're not going to be helping them the more time you spend. Okay? And so this is why they bounty hunt divines. Okay? Because they're running off of that. And when they're no longer able to feed off the energies of the divines in some kind of way, when they're no longer able to be successful at destroying the divine or keeping something from the divine or keeping the counterparts away, then they get more enraged and they attempt to, but it's only helping them to get to their grave quicker. Some of these people will get into an accident as they're trying to stalk divines. Some of their hitmans will get into accidents as they go and do it, and then their children will be affected. All of this stuff is going to trickle, and I'm putting it out there because when the stuff play out, you'll remember. You'll remember what I said. They do all of this stuff secretly. And then worse yet, if divines were to try to go tell people, no, most of the folks around these individuals are equally asleep, and in some cases equally insane. So this is a part of the reasons why divines really don't waste much time once they know. Okay? Once they know, they just simply get the hell out of there. Okay? Realizing that, hey, they're going to self-destruct. You know, their lot is their lot. And the more they try to fuck with me, it's just not going to be good for them and anyone connected to them. In a worse way. They're hitmans, all of it. They're witch covens, they're prayer groups, whoever. And that's essentially my past life with my karmic family, okay? And why they're doing what they're doing, okay? Secretly, because I tell you, it's covert. It's covert. Because remember, with the narcissism, and depending on the type of narcissism that they really operate in, they still want to try to have an image of sanity because they are insane. They do want to try to have an image of reform, so that people would believe them and so they can continue to benefit off of the energies of others and then use all these other people as their pawns to come against and target the divines. So if they can't get the groups and families, then they're going to go to a church building and see how many church folks. So I'm letting y'all know now, pastors, churches, teachers, whatever y'all want to call yourself here. It'll serve you well. It will serve you well to not entangle your life with my karmic family. First and foremost, they do not care about you, okay? They don't care what ends up happening to you or your children or your ministry or your congregation as a result of being tied up with them. They do not care. You can fall for the crocodile tears and the begging and the falling out and the pleading and our repenting and all that if you want to. But don't be upset. Don't believe the hype like, oh, when things start manifesting, oh, it must be really working. The devil is mad. No, you're with the devil. And it ain't working, obviously. What's happening is you're now absorbing the karma that is due for them to have to experience. So it's got nothing to do with powerful this and powerful that. Nope. Because the divines are fine and on their path and journey and are not being stopped. So you are starting to manifest what's due them. As you try to fight for them and pray for them and protect them and make excuses for them and feel sorry for them and then folks are starting to get sick and crazy shit is happening and don't nobody know why and all that stuff. It's because you have chosen to connect to them and believe the shit they're saying. So even though you may have your opinion about what I do here, just understand that what you think you know, you don't. There's more to these things than meets the eye. And if you entangle your life with them, you're going to suffer with them. Okay? If you allow yourself to be pulled in with them and start stalking a divine feminine or a divine masculine, you're going to pay. That's not your role here. Your role is to be concerned about your soul and your life. I'm saying this because when these unfortunate things happen, everybody's looking dumbfounded, confused, discombobulated, looking for a scapegoat to blame. You all were warned. Because I, myself, and individuals with the same type of soul and energy and frequency, we do not participate in sending toxic energies to people. We believe in defending and standing up for truth and speaking our truth, but we do not practice black magic. We do not believe in manipulating other people's lives with what we do. We do not believe. And let me say this about the spell work. Those things are designed, if you are a high vibrational being, it should be directed to you, not outside of you. Anytime we're trying to direct something to another person, we are attempting to manipulate them. We are attempting to control them. That is black magic, whether you want to believe that or not. I don't care if you see it on YouTube. I don't care if you see it on TikTok. I don't care where you see it, and I don't care in what arena. If we're going to practice some type of spell work, ideally it's, hey, so you can get your mind right. How about that? So you can get your soul, your mind, and your whole get down in alignment so that you can co-create and manifest properly what's in frequency vibration with you and for you without having to bend the mind and the will of another individual that may not want your ass or may not want nothing to do with you, may not like you. That's not what we're supposed to be here doing. Make them want me. How about make yourself heal so you can attract someone who willingly wants you? That's divinity, honey. It ain't divinity because you can do some dizzy spell that you're going to pay for later in abundance. All right? So stay out of it, church folks, because shit gonna start happening to you. Let me tell you why. Let me tell you how I know. Death is around my mother. People start dropping like flies. I'm gonna tell you right now. I believe my uncle died, though some would say, well, he was destined to. And it was just eerie. He was getting well and all of a sudden he wasn't. He had left and come back or whatever, yada, yada. But I still believe something about that. My stepfather's father, I believe the same thing. His death. Yes, these people were ill, but not everything is as what you think. That's why I'm trying to tell folks. Folks is simple, just simple as fuck, simple-minded. Lunatics. When you're dealing with insane lunatics that secretly do shit and have a fucked up energy, people get sick and die. And if they were already vulnerable and sick and immune system compromised anyway, it only catapulted it. I'm telling you, when I got to Nevada and I started getting around narcissistic energies, I began to get sick. My skin began to get affected. Shit started happening to my son. The more narc energy I got around, the more sick and chaotic things became. Vegas is one of the most prevalent energies and places full of amplified narcissism to the 13th power. Why? The mob. Vegas was built by the mob. And what is that energy? Play with that. Play with it. The nightlife, right? Gambling, partying, fucking, drinking, smoking, right? Everybody want it. Kill if you got to, right? Put them under the ground when you're finished and then go smile at the Christmas church party afterward. Yeah, like that. Like that. So when individuals are around energetically sick and insane people, and if you're sensitive, you'll start dying. But for the elderly and the sick and impaired already, it's amplifying the progression of their sickness and death as well. But just like that movie Run, and I'm going to keep telling y'all to go watch it on Hulu or Netflix, this appearance of this caretaker like that delusional dizzy mother. She was a lunatic in the body of someone who appeared to be this selfless, sacrificial caretaker. The only reason why the motherfucker was sick to begin with is because she was poisoning the motherfucker. Okay, because she needed her energy. And that is what karmics are. And that is what my little sister as well. But I can't really speak much on that because I haven't had enough experience. I only had some of it. She's in the same kind of low vibrational energy, but I can't really say that to the full extent regarding her. So I won't put that there. When the spell worked, then hell shit. Yeah, well, you already okay. So they opted out, guys. They didn't want to away. This is what happens with any of us. You may not have been in an insane asylum in the past, so this is why karmic's severity levels are different as well. This is another reason why the severity level is different. Okay? But karmic is still karmic. There is no situation where a divine is supposed to be celebrating, collaborating, partnering, being with, marrying. We're not here to stagnate our lives, you guys. And this is why sometimes divine masculines ends up, it's more prevalent for that. I'm trying to beat up on divine masculines. Hope you guys have figured me out by now. That's not it. But this is, you know, masculines tend to stagnate longer because they're usually attached more to this 3D, usually more so than the divine feminines are. So they try hard to make karmic divine, they reason, they rationale, they allow themselves to stay entangled with these types, and then they end up getting under their spells, further confusing themselves, then they end up getting sick, then this ends up happening. So divine masculines usually fuck up their lives in that way. Some of them never come out, and then they're demoted out, they're demoted to karmic, and they just simply end in a very brutality way. Because I feel like with my sister, my counterpart connecting with her, he didn't realize the severity level of how dark and toxic and wicked she really is and really was. And didn't understand that the more you play with that, the more you attempt even to stay near them in vengeance. It's like, that's ill-advised. That is ill-advised to do. Because as you're in the vicinity with them, honey, when your eyes are closed, they're standing over you, chanting. When you're in the vicinity of them, they're watching to see when you're not paying attention and slipping shit in your food and drinks. Putting it in the food in the refrigerator and the cabinets and shit. Doing shit on your car and your clothes and all these things. So it's not wise. We're not called to do that. We're called to remove ourselves, go to heal, and then align with our guides and allow and speak and determine everything that's been done to execute justice, right? But we're not called to stay connected thinking that I'm seeking vengeance, I'm going to get my money back, I'm going to get this back. No, you're finna die. You're going to start getting sick. And then you're going to be unable to move. And then they're going to act like they're caring for you. And then they're going to show everybody how much they're caring for you. And then you're going to be discombobulated and confused and thinking they're caring for you and mess around and die. And they don't care because they're lunatics. Insane asylum. Dressed with a fancy outfit and plastic surgery. And the more we play with it, the more harm we do. And then getting him to partner up with her, like I said, those two events that happened before I moved, let me know and confirm that they were stalking me, literally. Not just energetically, not just on social media, not just on platforms, not just on the internet. They had been stealing from me. They had been forging things. They had been downloading my content. They had been using my pictures and information, doing all sorts of shit. Having their people follow me around, all the people, because they know a whole lot of karmic horrors, I'm gonna tell you that. And you know, karmic horrors, karmic men and women. Okay, to partner up and do their bidding. I call them the flying monkeys, the pawns, the dumbasses that don't realize that they're about to absorb the karma for all these motherfuckers that they doing shit for. They families is possibly gonna be assassinated and some crazy shit. Why? You shouldn't have fucking signed up and agreed to take a hit out on divine feminine, out on me. My child, and what's mine. You shouldn't have did it. So now, put your seatbelt on. The families of any of you out there that this ends up happening, I tried to warn. I tried. But people are dumb. People are desperate. People are asleep. People are not in alignment with their chakras. People are fucked up energetically. People are fucked up in their soul and in their subconscious with fancy outfits and briefcases and fucking houses. Get past that shit. Because half of it is fake and half of it is not what you think. Half of it is because they fucking to get it. Okay? They'll try to fuck up the ethers. I spoke about this earlier. And that's what they did to me and my counterpart. Yeah. This is when you're dealing with a deep, dark motherfucker that went nutso and is going out there connected with every distorted spiritualist that's equally probably nuts, or probably other lunatics of the past life, and they found each other so that they could come do some more fuck shit because they didn't want to heal. But it's that past life drama and trauma that they're being driven by, and they don't even realize it. But if they reject what was attempted to be provided, we're not there to go, oh, baby, they're finna poor baby kill your ass while you're saying poor baby. You better get the fuck out of there. And get restraining orders on these motherfuckers. In an energetic world and in the 3D. And don't play that. So all the people that I'm putting on my block list, I'm doing the shit that I'm doing for a reason. Because all of these trolling motherfuckers, I'm targeting them for the FBI. So I can go ahead and submit all my goodies for foul play. Because see, these people try to be slick and sneaky, and that's my family. So anybody who's dumb enough to do it, they're going to be dumb enough to go down and fry with them. Now, collective, I wanted to share that because, again, it's about me speaking my truth and my story. It's about the healing. That's a part of it. We must learn to speak. A part of their power is they get us to cower out of that bullying and threatening energy. You better not. I show the fuck am. Show enough it's fenced to and going to continue to. And I'm going to say some more shit. The more you try to fuck with me and mine. So they can keep their shit slick and sneaky and behind the scene. And so they can continue their illusions and, of reform. I'm changed. You ain't changed, ho. You're still up to the same shit. In a sneakier way. Because you're not well. And you did not want it. You didn't want to be well. And you didn't want the healing energy. You didn't want to ascend. You didn't want to do the work. And you actually know it and you just don't care. So you're going to fry exponentially. And anybody who's dizzy enough to collaborate with you and partner with you. It's best, motherfuckers, go the other way. If you feel like you don't know and unsure, save yourself and your family. Whether you agree and your opinions are different about shit or not. I did my part, light team. The purpose. Ooh, look at this squirrel. Oh my God. So you guys, if you're divines, you please understand you can't reform karmics. So please stop trying, okay? If that has been identified for you, accept it for what it is, okay? You cannot, that's not your assignment in the first place. And I'm sorry, because some people, I'm not here to say that people should do this and they must do that. You got to follow your soul, right? Because it's your life and the lives that you are hoping to impact in a positive way. But the reality is, could you marry a karmic? Yes. Do it make them unkarmic? No. It doesn't. It does not make them unkarmic. And unfortunately, people use religion to make people stay in those karmic situations. This is going to purify their soul. No, it's not. If they're a karmic, they're a karmic, and you're going down with them. You're not going to sanctify this hole. I'm sorry. I know that's offensive. I know it feels that way. But that's exactly why I'm saying you got to determine that for yourself. Because, see, you're the one that's got to live with what you're doing here. It doesn't make any sense and do you no good to be pissed off at anybody else when this shit blows up in your face. Okay? Those was programs to keep people fucked up. Divines, you can do nothing about that. You were here to do only a certain thing, to learn the lesson, awaken, clear the debt, to offer the high vibrational energy, meaning the things for ascension, but get the hell out of there. It was never so you can sit with them until they do it. No, it was offers for them to take it, run with it the same way you did. The same way you did. There's no concession. Okay, that was the point of it. But when they rejected and opt out, they're still the same lunatics from the past life. And as long as you entertain that, understand that they're hell-bent on killing you and getting vengeance because they're still running off of that energy. They're still running off of it from their subconscious. You can't do that. So save your own life and get on your path and journey and heal and get the fuck away from them. Do what you got to do. Send, return, and send, and get your guys to amplify, whoop ass. And you know what I'm saying? Go on with your business. Back to what I was saying about, you know, people get really sensitive about certain topics until their asses are sitting in it. I'm going to always say that until it's them that have to sit in some form of a torment and torture and hell. And then all of a sudden, then an exception is being made. Being married to someone and having kids with a person is not equated to those that God put together, let no man put asunder. That's a program and that's some fuck shit. We were in our karmic template, we drew a karmic and we decided to do this shit. Somebody said, God said, okay, really? We can't blame nobody, y'all. You can stay in that energy at your free will if you wish, but don't be mad and sitting back and hating on other people who freed themselves from all that. And you chose out of your right to stay in whatever the toxicity was. And by no means am I telling people to be frivolous or negligent to children. And, you know, people are so dizzy, man. So fucking dizzy. But don't buy that shit. You're supposed to fucking sacrifice your life for a karmic. Because some of them do the spell work and manipulation to get people to marry them in the first fucking place. So that shit is for the birds. It was designed to trap the divine so that they fucking wouldn't heal in the sin. Because as long as the divines are connected to the karmic energies, they will not. They will not. They will not. You can go to church all day. You can go to the Reiki Master, the Reiki Center all day. It ain't gonna fucking happen. It's a stall tactic. The mission is to destroy you while cooking cupcakes and greens and fucking and smiling and taking pictures to put it on Instagram. And then the divine masculines end up sitting back in secret after all this crazy chaotic stuff, and they still feel the pull of the divine energy. They still feel it. They can still feel it. They still feel the pull. And they secretly yearn and sit back and pray and reach out to the ethers and look at and stalk divine feminines. And then people project the fault onto divine feminines. Oh, they're homewreckers. And divine feminines is going about their business. Divine feminines actually handed the motherfuckers over to y'all. And you still ain't happy. Because it's your soul. It's your soul. It's what the real issues are all about. It's real. This shit is real. I'm clearing and speaking my truth. This is on behalf of myself, my son, on behalf of my grandmother on my mother's side. What she wasn't able to do and accomplish as a result of all the karmic energy surrounding her, as a result of not being strong enough, and her, pain and all that shit being dumped onto her, trauma, drama, the times that she came in, which made her who she was in the 3D, which is why she did the things she did. She knows that. But if they were a star-seed earth angel and they failed their missions, depending on how old their souls are, when they go, they may become enlightened and become a guide and all of that, because they get a review. I'm not going to get too deep on all that teaching right now. I'm not here for that. But they're not who people remember. They are not who people remember. People are only equating them to the 3D of who they knew her to be. This is why she is one that is furious. This is why she showed up in one of my oracle decks. I still love that to this day, man. Flipped me out at first, I ain't gonna lie. Flipped the fuck out when I first saw. I was like, what shit is this with my grandmother on this picture? Flipped me the fuck out. I was like, oh shit. I was like, she sure enough know how to make shows. It was a part of her trying to still fulfill the mission in her own way. This lifetime, do you catch it? Are you catching it? This lifetime, are you catching it? Because she couldn't. Hell, her karmic daughter was probably doing some shit in Louisiana on her. With my little sister's people. Yeah. I know about that shit too. Everybody burning. She came here for that. So now she had to pass the baton. She chose to the one that was willing to what? Do the real work. Not pretend, not put a cross around her neck and hold the Bible and say Jesus. No. The one who chose to heal. For real. Come out of them damn addictions and shit. The trauma of the blood. The addictions, the fuck shit, the dysfunctionality of the fucking family. The one. Not the ones who were going to continue to contribute to it. So there's fury going on now. It's being executed. The bell has rung. Ding, ding, ding. In my case, my ancestors collective is going to be sure to taunt these people. All kinds of shit is happening. But going to hear something while this is happening. They are. Because it was provided them, but instead of taking it, they tried to hurt me and my son more and more. And then tried to project their crazy and their fuck shit on me and my son, and to try to make themselves be seen in certain lights that is not their own. And to try to make me be seen in lights that's certainly not mine. So this is why their suffrage is amplified exponentially. Because not only did they just refuse the healing, that the whole point of it all, to be provided, they tried to take it out and try to cloak and act like it was them. Divine Feminine is doing tarot. Okay, I'll try to do tarot. Divine Feminine is talking about mental illness. Okay, I'll try to talk. Okay, Divine Feminine is dressed like, okay, I'll dress like that. Okay, Divine Feminine is saying this. Okay, I'm going to do that. And Divine Feminine is da-da-da. Okay, I'm going to do that. Okay, Divine Feminine looks like this. Okay, I'm going to get liposuction. Okay, Divine Feminine looks like this. Okay, I'm going to get gastric bypass. Okay, Divine Feminine, yeah. I'm so caring. Look at me do the sweep the floor and make the cookies. I served them when they were sick. I just gave him some. He was sick, and I was just trying to help him while I was putting poison in his medicine. Oh, while I was sending mixed dreams in the ethers. I'm just so, oh my God, and I'm being so misunderstood. All I have done all this time is try to help. You're an idiot if you fall for this. And you will suffer. Your ass will be just like on that movie Run. Your ass will be stuck and fucked up in the head. Justice must prevail. Justice is. There. One, two. Come here for you. 3, 4. You can't lie and hide no more. 5, 6. Your cross prayers and spells won't fix. 7, 8. You already are too late. 9, 10. You'll never have peace or sleep to the very end. They ran out of time. Just like a murderer that is not able to reform. A person who has gone about in a particular land killing people that doesn't have the capacity for reform. They'll be put down. Because it's no longer just about them, it's about all the lives that they continue to affect with their poison. It's not just about them. It's about everybody that has been severely affected. It's about the potentiality if these murders were to be granted breath or granted freedom. Of all these others, they'll do that same shit too, over and over and over if they can't get to the divines. And essentially, they'll never stop because they're lunatics and they're still in that subconscious energy. So if they get in the way, if they keep trying to cause problems, then they will be just like anything in humanity. We call it humane. If an animal is too sick and they're suffering, guess what? Lunatic, insane energy is a suffrage, even if it's with lipstick, eyelashes, Botox, plastic surgery, and a cocktail. It is. So what does the veterinarian do, right? When all has been attempted, worse yet, everything around the dog or cat is continuing, starting to get sick along with the dog and the cat. More issues, more problems, suffrage, suffrage, suffrage. Then the vet, it's a kindness. Take them out. They can't make it this time. Maybe next life. Because they're still going about hunting people down. They're still trying. They're obsessed. They got too many demons and entities and frequencies and energies, or whatever verbiage you choose to use. They have too many of them attached to them that has overtaken them. They can't reform. They can't reform. They can pretend that they can put it on. See, that's the illusion. But like I spoke of yesterday, the moment they're in that triggered energy, they stay in the triggered energy, they can't stop. Because they don't stop until they feel like they have destroyed the divines. That's the epitome definition of a psychopath. That is the epitome definition of a sociopath, okay? Look at Batman Forever, dynamic Bruce Wayne, Edward Nygma. That's another, example of such situations. They'll never stop, so essentially they self-destruct. And that self-destruction happens with the assistance of the higher-ups. As they're wilding out, some of them get taken out, okay? As they're on a way to kill people and trap people and send distorted energies and so forth. They have car accidents. All the shit that they've projected for the divines. So divine masculines, for those of you who have survived, hopefully you get it. Hopefully you, for your own life's sake, because divine feminine, unlike these karmics, please understand, please. Divine feminine's not thirsty there. Divine feminine is defending herself and standing up for her own honor. How about that? How about that? Divine feminine is baby. She ain't thirsty, honey. She may have in the past in her wounding and pain like anybody else. But see, the difference, what marks the difference between divine feminine and karmic energy is divine feminine is progressively and continually and has always been healing, not perfect. But she wasn't trying to trap people and do crazy shit and codependent. It was actually the other fucking way around. She don't do that. She loves divine masculine. That's something that's in the template. It's something in the contract. It's something in the DNA. That's the truth. That's what makes those paths unique. That's what makes those dynamics unique. It's not the... We're talking about the soul. That's the love that's there. That karmics, nobody, that's something that's beyond the world. It has nothing to do with, oh, the sex and the this. Everybody gets so surface in 3D. Oh, somebody hung up. It's not, it's deeper than that. That's how you know how low vibrational and 3D motherfuckers is. Okay? Because if divine feminine and masculine ain't nowhere in the same vicinity of one another or haven't been connected, divine masculine doing other shit over there, or haven't been connected, divine masculine doing other shit over there, explain that. Especially for divine beings, don't practice in the weird shit like these karmics so they can cloak like they're divine masculine. Okay? Masculines, yeah. Feminines aren't thirsty. They relinquished you, and that should be evident to you. They relinquished you. Okay? First and foremost, because you're hell-bent on the karmic energy and not healing and doing your part if you reneged your journey, okay? If you're in that category and you got stripped. So I'm just simply saying, like, it ain't like that. They saw how thirsty and desperate these karmics were and how disillusioned you guys were, okay? And said, hey, these feminines just got pissed on if y'all keep fucking with their energy and you doing fuck shit with these karmics and some weird, dizzy, dark harlequin energy thinking you doing something and you finna fuck up your life messing around trying to play that fantasy with these dizzy hoes. So feminists like, look, go somewhere and make a life of y'all's asses, but stay the fuck out of my energy and out of my shit. So that should have been a clue to you right there, that obsession with divine feminine, that something was wrong with her fucking ass. Okay? And yours, where you were, you know, jealous or obsessed in a negative way. Like something's wrong with you. You're supposed to be healing and coming into your own, not trying to, I want to steal from feminine and become her and then kill her. What kind of shit is that? Masculine, if you know, usually we've had some past lives together and there was some kind of trauma. But the point was we were supposed to awaken and heal and deal with it so we can, again, alchemize that out and not be being run by that subconscious dramatic event that have happened in maybe one of our lifetimes together. That we were supposed to come here now and make it right. And unfortunately, a lot of divine original masculines don't. They have a pattern of doing the same thing over and over again, so some of them have been stripped. They've had a pattern of not coming in to learn their lesson and fix it. So some of them have to be demoted. But don't get it twisted because you hear divine feminines, you know, clearing the air, airing out shit for her healing, because she had to get her healing for herself, you see. So before any of you motherfuckers go around so-called placing your judgment about that shit, she had to get her healing for herself because all these karmics in her life, cowards. So shut the fuck up. If motherfuckers didn't want this shit aired publicly, they had their window of time to get shit right. So shut the fuck up. They didn't care about what the fuck they did to me or any other divine feminine publicly or to anyone else. So shut the fuck up. Her fury is about that. Her fury ain't about he want to be with karmics. She handed the motherfuckers over to karmics and went on her life. Now you guys figure that out. So that's my take, you guys, and that's what I know about my particular past life situation with my karmic family. And I also know that it is a thread, it's a theme. So many of you out there may resonate with something very similar. And so hopefully you're able to pull something from what I've shared in terms of understanding why does this happen. If there was some kind of drama or traumatic event in a past life, this stuff is stored in the subconscious. And when we're not dealing with that and kind of like piling it on, this is why people are driven to hate someone, driven like with no cause outside of whatever's inside of them. Because now none of my people can say I did nothing to them. And if they did, as is typical of a sociopath, a psychopath, a narc, a karmic, they lied. They're pathological and they took half truths. This is how sophisticated and insidious that shit is. They took my vulnerabilities and weakness and weak moments of my healing and dark nights of the soul to put themselves on a soapbox of fake purity or trustworthiness. Let me tell you something. You guys got to start thinking, not just divine masculines, but I'm talking to anybody. Learn how to fucking critically think. Secretly and doing all that stuff. Because guess what? Let's play with that. What if when I was there, when I was like around her and I was living with her, right? And I knew that she was dating this married dude, right? I knew she was messing with this married dude, and I knew that equally at the same time she was messing with others, right? Let's say once I moved from there and then after that, I made it my business, right, to connect with the married dude on Facebook or any social media or a dating site or, you know what I'm saying, whatever, and go, you know, act like I'm coming in as a friend, right? Hey, I just want to warn you that my sister's not well. And you need to be careful. She's into some things. And, I'm a God-fearing woman. And, I thought that, I should let you know since I saw you guys, together. And, I saw you guys post here and whatever. And I just feel like you need to know that she's sleeping with other people. I don't know if she's telling you that. I don't know if she's telling you that, you know what I'm saying, she's unstable and, she's a whore and, she does this and that. And, I just felt like, you seem like a good person, a good guy. And, I just want to come in and, do the right thing to help you because, it would be unfortunate. What if I did that? How does that sound to you guys? I want you guys to think about that. How does that sound to you guys? Do you guys feel like that would have been in my place to do? Even if it were true. In her case, it wasn't. But even if it were true, do you feel like that was in my place to do? Especially since the real issue is I'm no longer connected to her and I'm really upset with her and we had a falling out. But I'm not saying that part. And, regardless to that, do you guys feel like that's the role? Do you guys feel like that's fitting? Do you guys feel like that's appropriate? What if when I was there, because I was there, what if when each of these guys that she was seeing or when she would go out and do stuff and the stuff she told me about, because she told me about the shit, the men that she was connecting with that had paid for surgeries, is that not prostitution? But that's what she put on me. Fucking in exchange for services and goods on some level. What do you call it? She had told me that the married guy that she was dealing with didn't know. So what do you call that? Now, what if I took on her energy when I was there, knowing what I knew, and was like, let's say I tried to seduce and, whoop. Let's say I was like, oh, I put on, I figured out what the person likes so I could come sway, you know, whatever the fuck it is, and was like, you know, hi, I'm just trying to be a friend, you know, Tony, or whoever, you know, I don't know if she told you, but yeah, there's this other guy that she sees, and, you know, she says that, you know, he gave her the money so that she can go and get her next surgery that she wanted, you know. And I just really felt like I should say something because you seem like such a good guy. And I know y'all have this situation here, but, you know, just want you to know that that's going on. I don't know if she's trying to tell you that you're the only one, but, you know, you're not. As I sway and, you know, and then let's say I secretly got in my car and followed him. You know what I'm saying? Like all this weird, sneaky, snaky shit coming in the guise as a friend, right? What if I did that? Worse yet, Tony should have been, if that would have happened, if I would have played that out that way, if I would have been like her and did that shit, that should have alerted him to, wait a minute. I don't care if it seemed true, looked true. That should have been his first alert. Like, that ain't cool. That's something not right about that. Fortunately, my ex, you know, because see, they trapped each other. That's the whole thing about what happened. They ended up trapping each other because he had no business searching. He was in a relationship. He had no business entertaining and engaging and exchanging, not only with her, all the other karmic whores or whatever the fuck was going on. And he certainly had no business, you know, entertaining family members behind my back. Ask yourself, how would you feel if that was done to you? Whether or not it was true. See, you can flip this however you want. The shit wasn't true, but whether it was true or not, how would you feel about that? From the people that's talking about how godly they are and how much they know God. And people that's holding Bible and praying and crying and hollering and shucking and jiving and calling pastors and past church folks. Yeah. Acting like they so broke down and lying and twisting shit. Now, how would you feel about that? It's twisted when you think of it. It's out of order and it's disrespectful. Whether or not the accusations were true, he should have had his own way of discernment, his own way of healing, and the loyalty was supposed to be to the divine in the first place. Not a whore posing as a divine. Not somebody that was willing to be snaky behind somebody's back. Talking about, I'm your friend, a friend to get in, a friend to get counsel. So he took her counsel because she wanted to suck and fuck his soul out of his life and take his destiny and fucking kill him after she sucked him dry. Along with some of his other dizzy friends. I'm not going to go there because there's some other dizzy lunatic karmics. They're all a part of it. That is what has surrounded the connection in my case. All these karmic lunatics, a lot of them were lunatics, I believe, not just my mother and sister. I believe a lot of his as well. All fucking lunatics in another life. Insane asylums. Now this time they just came in the form of family and they came in the form of fucking suits and boob jobs and ass jobs and eye lifts and tucks and flips. Sucks and fucks and parties and shit. Drugs and rock and roll. Ponzi schemes. To get in. To use the energy and to take them out. To take us out. But they ain't taking me out, I'll tell you that for sure. They got another thing coming. It's whoop ass time for they asses. All of them. Keep fucking with me. I heard somebody had posted something on one of my videos, y'all, and I'm done. Somebody, probably one of their karmic asses, had made a comment, or one of their dizzy friends had made a comment, said, oh, you're supposed to this and that, just allow this to happen and so forth, and let them this and that, it's fear, why that you're blah, blah, blah. And this is me standing up for myself and speaking my truth. It ain't fear. I'm fine, obviously, right? They're in fear because I'm exposing their asses. And I'm going to keep doing it. And collective, if this is you and it's resonating with your story, I highly recommend you do too. Namaste.